Welcome back to Wealthy Mentor Trading, guys. Today is June the 20th, 2022, and today I'm going to be looking at the S&P 500, what my targets are going into next week. We do have a shortened week being Monday, a holiday, so I am coming to you on a Monday as opposed to the normal Sunday. And I'm also going to be taking a look at four key names that I have on my watch list, names like Tesla that saw continued declines, along with Apple approaching critical levels, AMD declining 11% on the week, and FedEx set to report earnings on Thursday. So those four stocks I'm going to be discussing today. But before we get started, guys, please give this video a thumbs up and share it with your friends. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please hit that subscribe button. And if you are interested in trading with us on our Discord channel at Wealthy Mentor Trading, we do have a 2-month $97 promo going on right now. So that entails swing trading, day trading, options trading, call outs, commentary throughout the day, along with market prep. It's definitely something you should be a part of, and it is on sale right now. So click that link in the description, and that should get you going. All the names being discussed today are traded on our channel. With that being said, as you guys can see, we do have the S&P 500 chart here, and to me, it's nothing but bearish, right? It was a continued move lower. All throughout the week, we saw selling pressure, and that was due to the FOMC pretty much raising interest rates. So anytime when you see interest rate hikes, you're going to see a bearish market. It was leaked this time, and the consensus was that a 75 basis point cut would happen, and that's exactly what had happened, right? So the market was expecting that, and it wasn't much of a big shock. So apparently that was the major thing going on in the markets, which again, the traders, investors, the economy doesn't like higher interest rates, especially with the higher inflation. So that put the market at a disadvantage, and it continued to move lower. So what am I looking at going into the next week, technically speaking, right? So we went as low as 36.50 before receiving a tiny bounce, but the majority of this candlestick here, guys, as you guys can see, closing at the bottom, that represents bearish action. And if I were to switch here to the daily time frame to give you guys pretty much a clear picture, and as you guys can see here, right, the market opened up on Monday and we had a gap down instantly, expecting a bearish announcement by the Fed, and that's exactly what we got. We did drop down to close the week just above 36.50. Overall, that is still bearish. I'm looking for a continued move lower, and that is that $3,600 area. It is an area of significance, right? So if you were to switch over here to the weekly chart, you can clearly see that 3,600 is an area where we have support, right? So it was previous resistance on the way up on this big wick right here, right, where we got a rejection, and on the way down, it turns to support. So 3,600 is an area where you could definitely see bulls step in, and if not, we could potentially drop even lower towards that $3,500 area again, where it is clear support. We did close candle bodies underneath this line back on December 2020, and it's been a long time, guys. It was the major key breakout area. We did have a nice consolidation before we broke out, and obviously mayhem ensued, and we were creating all-time highs during COVID. So here we are retracing 100% all the way back down. So I am looking for a continued move towards that $3,600 area and $3,500 area, where I believe the market will see some sort of bounce higher. But to me, we still got to break that trend area, right? So we're far away from that. And my concentration this week is a move lower. So if you are one of those people that is cost averaging, it is a great time to get in. You never want to catch a falling knife. You don't know how low it will go. But if you cost average at a respectable price, anywhere from 3,600 to 3,800, I believe that is a good area where you could pop in and feel comfortable about your position. But right now, I am looking for those lows at that $3,600 and $3,500 area. Now, to the upside, what you want to see is a break above 3,800. It was an area where we gapped down. So a break above 3,800, we can pretty much test 3,840, where we did get a rejection, right? And if we get above that, we are testing this consolidation area to the bottom of 3,900. So Right now, the main thing for the bulls is getting past above 3,800. And for the bears, what you want to see is a break below 3,650 heading into next week. With that being said, I am going to head over to the names that I want to discuss today. And the first one being Tesla. TSLA is, a name that was trending pretty much all of last year and the year before with its astronomical highs at $1,250. And here we are approaching a key area that I did mention to my students on Friday is that 620 line, right? So we have been consolidating between 780, 785, and 620. And here we are to close Friday's session at that $620 area. So again, I'm looking for a break below that to retest this area of 550, which we do have strong support dating back to March 2021 and a bounce right here back on May 2021, guys. So it's been a long time to test these levels. Bull stepped in twice at those levels. So again, I'm looking for a break below 620 going into next week for targets of 550. And I also have the next take profit target at $500. Obviously, we need to see continued market weakness. We need to see the S&P 500 drop to that $3,600, $3,500 area for names like Tesla to also drop that far ahead, right? So 3,500, 3,600 on the S&P 500 can definitely push Tesla down to 550 and 500. 500 is an area, again, where it was previous resistance, now turns to support. So 550 is an area where you can see a bounce, and most importantly is where we can break trend, right? We stepped in and held that 550 line, and if we break trend, we can pretty much see $500 and even lower than that, guys. Do I expect it to go that low? Probably not. I'm definitely looking at bulls to step in around that $500 area for a push higher, but it does make a great trade to the downside. So 620 is my entry area going into next week. Now, to the upside, what do I see? Again, we are range bound, so I am looking for a break above $700, where obviously we got a rejection here on the weekly, closing towards the bottom of that candlestick. So a break above $700 can pretty much lead us back to 750, which is my target to the upside if you are a bull. All right, so that is Tesla, and my current stance is that I'm bearish. Another name which did have a nice decline was Apple. AAPL is the ticker, and much like Tesla, we are at an area where it is significant for Apple, right? Apple declined all the way to 129. It was an area we haven't touched pretty much since these areas back on May 2021, right? It was an area where we gained momentum to the upside, and we broke out all the way towards 150. Here we are at that 120 line, the same breakout area, and we tested it once, bouncing, bulls stepping in, and closing just above 131 on the week, right? So this week, I'm paying close attention to that 129 line. Again, guys, Apple is one of those names you got to closely correlate to the S&P 500. It definitely holds a lot of weight. Obviously, a lot of people are invested in Apple. So if you're looking for a breakdown in the markets, definitely check out Apple to see what it's doing, right? So it's one of those things where you got to look at Apple and the S&P 500 at the same time to get your entry on properly. So look at that 129 level for shorting opportunities down to that 122. Again, guys, where bulls stepped in multiple times here back on May 2021. So it's been 1 year since we've tested these levels. So as a bear, which is what I am on Apple right now, I am looking for a move below 129 to retest 122. And my second take profit target is that 116 line. Again, similar concept, a lot of support here. It was an area where we tested back on March 2021, so over a year ago. And again, going back to the S&P 500, you're definitely going to be looking at market price of 3,600 and 3,500 for Apple to hit these low targets. All right, guys. Next name that was pretty much the biggest decliner in the semiconductor sector, it was AMD. Another one of those names that to me stood out because it did break trend, guys, right? So we have this $85 trend line here. It is a big major area of support. As you guys can see, much like Tesla and Apple, we have been consolidating from that $85 area all the way pretty much to $110. Again, this week we did close the weekly candle underneath that, And to me, it was bearish, and all signs point to a continued move lower towards that $72 area, where you guys can see we spent a long time consolidating ever since July 2020, and pretty much last touched it back on May 2021. So guys, it's been over a year, almost 2 years since we've touched this line. And again, all signs point to an area consolidation where we could drop and consolidate much like we did here, right? Consolidate here, then we need to see a breakout above $85 once again, which will be strong resistance, guys. Now, let's just say we hold $85 this week, right, and bounce back up. Where do I see it going, guys? Best case scenario to the bulls is that $95 line, where again, multiple rejections at $95. So at best, we get above 85 and consolidate underneath $95 on a bull case scenario. As I mentioned, I am a bear on this one, so I'm definitely looking at entries below that $79 line, which is the bottom of this candle here on the weekly, for positions down to $72, which is my take profit dollar area. Okay, guys, that is one of those names that we do trade on our daily watch list at Wealthy Mentor Trading. So again, if you guys are interested in that, we do have that $97 promo. Link is in the description to start trading with us at Wealthy Mentor Trading. And one last name that's important to me that is reporting earnings on Thursday, and that's FedEx, right? FedEx was one of those names that stuck out, that actually had a good week, right? We did gain 12% on the week, and mostly that was due to the announcement that it will be lifting its dividend by 53%. So again, it was one of those bullish catalysts that FedEx did thrive off, gaining 12%. But to me, I don't really care, right? I'm a technical analyst, and what this chart shows me is pretty much range bound action, right? This is the weekly time frame, and as you guys can see, the last area where we touched this range, the high of it was that $242 area, and that was back on March 2022. Again, last week we did have that bullish momentum. We pushed past that 235 line, but again, this was a weaker bounce and still below that 242 line. So for me, uh, although it was a nice move by FedEx, it does not change the overall trend. And right now we are in a consolidation area, in a small range bound area. And to me, I believe we are going lower. And what am I looking at is that 216 line, which was the bottom of this. So for me, I am going to trigger my shorts below that 216 area to retest the bottom of the range, which is that 199, $200 area if you want to, you know, count for round numbers, right? So we definitely can see an area where we hit $200 and again, stay within this range for quite a while before breaking down lower and testing 178, which is the next major key area of support, guys. As you guys know, we did spend a majority of the time underneath that, acting as resistance. And here we are again to the downside on a potential break below 199, where we can see 178 once again. We also have a small gap here, which could potentially get filled on an earnings bomb, where we can wick down to 183 and potentially move up higher again, guys. So to me, my targets are going into earnings below 216, 199 as my first take profit target. And my second take profit target is this gap right here at that 188 to 183 area. So guys, those are my two targets on FedEx. Although the chart does look like it's neutral, it's still towards a bullish stance, because a bearish stance, I should say, because we have spent the majority of the year in a decline, right? So to me, the more times you touch a support line, the weaker it gets, and then we head down lower, right? So bulls are expecting to hold this once again, but the more times the bears attack this line, it weaker it gets, and the bulls give it up, and then we see a drop down to a lower level, which is that 178 area if you want to be technical. All right, guys, so those were four key names that I'm definitely looking at. FedEx with their earnings coming up on Thursday. It is a short week, guys, so AMD also declining 11%. We are at a critical area. I am expecting a move down to $72. Apple, again, it is testing those lows at 129, so definitely watch that, and the S&P 500 to trigger your shorts, along with Tesla dropping down to March 2021 levels to that 550 area. So definitely watch Tesla below 620, guys. All right. Thank you so much for joining. Be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and see you guys next Sunday. Thank you guys. Bye.